Hey, how's it going? I wanted to give you a quick walk through the Monticello website because I think it's really cool. And I'm asking you to take a look at it both for my web lecture about Jefferson, but also for the group discussion we're going to have this week about Jefferson. So, having a basic familiarity with the site and what's there will be a useful tool. Love that picture of Monticello right there. Anyway, I'm most interested in terms of our web lecture today of you checking out the plantation and slavery resources on this site. It's really only in the last 10 to 20 years that the folks at Monticello have really thoughtfully engaged with the role of slavery and Jefferson's role as a slave and plantation owner in his own history and the history of Monticello. And now they've become sort of really cutting edge leaders on it. And there's all sorts of good stuff. They've got online exhibitions. This is a really interesting one, Slavery at Jefferson's Monticello, Paradox of Liberty. Really good website about Mulberry Row, which were the slave quarters and where a lot of the slave work went on. Some great stuff about African American families linked to Monticello. And then some really interesting stuff about the mechanics of plantation life. And Jefferson's thinking. So this section is just a lot of really cool stuff here. Agriculture, industry, people, and Jefferson and his own theories and ideas. So this is the site I'd really like you to explore on your own for a bit before you go on to reading Jefferson's primary texts that I've put in the lecture for you to download, read, and annotate. Spending some time around here, exploring around here, will really pay off for you and will give you some context for the gap between Jefferson's rhetoric and the reality of what was happening on the ground in his life and at Monticello. So the plantation and slavery resource is very valuable. Lots of great material here. The house and gardens page is interesting too. I can't say I'm totally into the gardens, but the Monticello, the house stuff is really good. There's question and answers. There's images of the different rooms. There's a house image gallery where you can walk through the house. And as you click around here, there are different places where you can take like online tours of the house and really kind of explore the possibilities. Over here, I think the Monticello Explorer is something that really lets you dig in around the house. So the house page is cool too. On the research and collection side of things, there's some interesting resources here that you might enjoy and want to explore more fully. And over here in families and teachers, there's some interesting stuff as well. A link to an online course. Here's the Monticello Explorer I was talking about, which gives you all sorts of cool ways of looking at the place, 3D models, architectural plans, cool images, all sorts of really interesting stuff. I really like these different tours here, and I would encourage you to explore them and play around in them. So that's just a quick look at how much is here. And you may find other things that I'm not even seeing on here because there's so much going on. And I want you to have this material as background as you read Jefferson, but I'm also going to ask you in our discussion forum this week to find something in here that's interesting for you in terms of one of our cultural tensions and get a dialogue going between that online resource you find, whether it's an image or a tour or an article, and the idea of the tension we've been exploring in our course. So I hope this little tour got you thinking. And again, I want you to start with the plantation and slavery section and explore around a bit in there before you continue with this web lecture that you're in the middle of right now about Jefferson, because the readings that you're going to look at next are about his views of slavery, and having some of this material in your mind as context will really help you get more out of those readings. Okay, see you in Blackboard.